If you feel like no amount of sleep makes a difference anymore and you're running on caffeine, obligation, and autopilot, then this video is for you. You're not just tired, you are done. Done with juggling everyone's needs, done with powering through when you have nothing left in the tank, done with waking up tired, working tired, parenting tired, and going to bed still tired. But you keep showing up anyways because that's what we do. And somewhere along the way, that kind of tired becomes your normal. And you forget what rested even feels like. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. And in this video, we're going to talk about why you're always tired, the real signs of burnout, especially for working moms, and how you can gently start to reclaim your energy. And stick with me until the end, because I'll be sharing a simple mindset shift that helped me stop resenting my life and start enjoying it again. It is something that most women skip entirely, but it changes everything. Welcome to Reclaim and Reset with Luna, where I help busy, overwhelmed women shift from burnout and survival mode to a life that actually feels a little bit more balanced. We do this through mindful productivity, time management strategies, and realistic habits that fit into your day. So let's dive into the real reasons why you're always tired and what you can actually do about it. Step 1, spotting the real signs of burnout. Burnout doesn't always show up like a dramatic breakdown. Sometimes it looks like snapping at your kids over something small and then feeling guilty about it for hours later. It can be feeling like you're in a fog even after you've had a full night's sleep. It can include dreading those tasks that you used to absolutely love to do, feeling numb, disconnected, or just off. We've all had those days where we just feel like just off. You can't explain it, but something's not right. And you might chalk that up to being busy, right? You might even think everyone's tired, right? It's just part of being a mom. But burnout isn't just tiredness. It's emotional, it's mental, and physical depletion. If you've ever found yourself thinking, I should be able to handle this while you're barely holding it together, then this might be a sign of burnout. And naming it isn't a weakness. It is actually the first step in taking your energy and your life back. Okay, so step 2 is ask yourself, what's really draining you? So let's break it down. What is actually causing this exhaustion that you're feeling? For most working moms, it's not just the doing. It's the constant switching between roles, whether it's professional mode for meetings, nurturing mode for parenting, organizer mode for meals, laundry, forms, and rides, therapist mode for everyone's big feelings. And don't forget that you're also a spouse, a daughter, a friend, a team leader. The list goes on and on. And this kind of role shifting can be exhausting. Add in our societal pressure to do it all, to crush it at work, to raise well-adjusted children, to cook organic, low-carb meals, and somehow still fit into your jeans, even though you're approaching middle age. And it is no wonder that you're tired. Also, let's not ignore that invisible load that we carry. Remembering birthdays, ordering supplies, managing emotions, and not just your own, being the emotional anchor for the entire family. Most women aren't exhausted from doing too little. They're exhausted from doing everything all the time with zero pause. So take a second to think about what is really draining you in your life. What are the items on your invisible load that contribute to your exhaustion? Okay, so this brings us to step number 3, why self-care isn't a luxury. It is survival. So let me say this clearly again. You are not selfish for needing a break. You are human. Self-care doesn't have to mean bubble baths or spa days. Well, those might be nice, but realistically, it might look like saying no to a volunteer commitment that you just don't have the space for right now. It could be putting your phone on airplane mode for 30 minutes so that you can just breathe. It could be going to bed at 9 p.m. without folding the laundry just because you're tired. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we cannot go to bed before 11 or 10 or whatever your magical number is. Your nervous system is not designed to be in go mode 24/7. It needs softness, It needs stillness and breaks. And if you're thinking, well, that's great, but I don't have time for that. I get it. I truly do. But here's the truth. If you don't make time for rest, your body will eventually force it through illness, through shutdown, through emotional spiraling, whatever that looks like, your body will force you to take that rest. Self-care is how you stay strong enough to be able to keep showing up. It's how you reclaim your energy in a way that lasts throughout the days, the weeks, and the upcoming months. Okay, so step number 4 then is time management that works in real life. So let's talk strategy, but gently, because traditional time management advice often feels like it was written for people with personal assistants and 0 kids. It's often delivered by a 20-something that really doesn't have all of those added bits and pieces and commitments that you do as a working mom. We need a system that works for moms like us. And here's what that kind of looks like. We're prioritizing by energy instead of urgency. So don't just look at deadlines. Look at what drains you and what fuels you. The other thing we're going to look at is saying no without apologizing. Your no makes space for a more aligned yes. And down the road, there's going to be something that is going to light you up, that's going to give you that energy. And you'll have the space for it because you said no to those things that didn't feel aligned with what you're dealing with right now. Time management also looks like delegating a little bit at home. Your kids can wipe a countertop. Your partner can pack a lunch. It doesn't have to be done perfectly. It just has to be done. Once that lunch is consumed, no one cares what it looked like. You don't have to post it on Instagram or Pinterest to show what a good mom you are. Let them do it. Get them fed. Get it done, even if it's in a less than perfect way. Another element of our time management is to use gentle structure. So think a block of time for focus work, a block of time for kids stuff, and transitions. But always leave wiggle room because life with kids requires flexibility. And don't forget to build in actual rest stops during your day. I was so bad at this for so long. I would just go, one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and I wouldn't rest until I completely collapsed into bed at night. But you have to build in actual rest times throughout your day. Even if it's just 5 minutes to sit, breathe, and do nothing, this can help reset your whole mood, help you reset your energy to be able to take on those next set of tasks that you have coming up in your day. And if you want to dig deeper into some gentle time management strategies that work in real life, then check out my video that focuses on exactly that. I will pop the link to that in the description below this video. Okay, so step number 5 is you need a village, not just a calendar. This one is huge. Burnout thrives in isolation, but healing happens in community. So this doesn't mean you need a big group of friends or a girls' night every night of the week or a girls' night even once a week. It might mean creating a WhatsApp chat with your friends who gets it and just being able to kind of talk back and forth and be able to really just lean on each other for that support. It could be a text thread with your sister or your cousin. It could be a 15-minute coffee with a coworker who won't judge you for your messy house or how you're feeling like a hot mess this week. Having people who can say, same here, or you're doing really great, is such a powerful piece of what we need. Because when you feel seen, you start to soften. And in that softening, your energy returns. So let yourself be supported. Let yourself receive. You don't have to carry everything all alone. Okay, so that brings us now to step number 6, real tips to reclaim your energy that you can actually do. Okay, so let's get super practical for a second here. I am a type A person. I like practical explanations on YouTube videos. I don't like to just be told general overall theories. So here we go. Here are a few energy resets that don't require an entire life overhaul. Okay, the first one is mini movement breaks, like stretch for 2 minutes, walk around the block, dance to just one song. That's like 2.5, 3 minutes, right? Get the blood flowing. It boosts both your mood and your energy. And if you are tired and exhausted, this mini 2-minute movement break can really do a lot to restore that energy. I would probably even argue more so than another coffee in the afternoon. The second practical strategy is to eat real food and hydrate. And it sounds basic, but skipping meals or living off snacks really leaves you depleted. So try maybe a high protein breakfast, maybe adding in a shake in the middle of your morning, and having a full water bottle at your desk or on the counter or wherever you happen to be. This really matters for helping you get that energy reset that you need in the middle of the day. I know I was horrible for getting the kids out the door and then sitting down, and I would literally be at my desk and I would work 9 to 2:30 when I had to go back and pick them up. And I wouldn't eat during that whole time because I just needed to get stuff done. And my goodness, my energy just dropped in the middle of that afternoon. By the time I went to go get the kids, my feet were dragging, right? So hydrating, that water, even just water, really makes a huge difference. Okay. The next one is to breathe intentionally. So try what I call the 5-5-7 method. It is inhaling for 5, holding for 5, and then exhaling for 7. Little bit longer than that inhale and that hold. And do this 3 times. It sends that signal of we're safe to your nervous system in your body. And I don't know about you if you've ever tried any kind of like a deep reset of breathing, but the first time I'm just like, all right, I can do this. The second time I start to feel a little bit of that calming sense trickle in, but it is that third time that truly is the reset. So there is a magical number in 3. Regardless of what your beliefs happen to be, 3 is a magical number, especially when it comes to breathing intentionally. The next one that we can do is to protect your sleep like it is gold, okay? Turn off the screens 30 minutes before bed, maybe keep your phone out of arm's reach. Do whatever it is that you need to do to give your brain a chance to power down, okay? It could be meditation, it could be journaling, it could just be laying there in silence, because sometimes that's all you really just need is just some silence. But whatever it is, do what you can to get the best quality sleep that you can. Because even a couple disruptions to your rest in the middle of the night can leave you dragging that whole next day. And this last one we touched on briefly, but stop overcommitting. Seriously, if it is not a full body yes, it's a no. Okay? It's just a no. We don't have time for that right now. Your future self will thank you. And these are not about becoming a new person overnight. Like I said, it's not about having a whole overhaul. You don't need to have a 30-minute morning routine, right? They're about giving your current self a chance to recover little by little with these micro moments. Okay, and here's the bonus tip I promised. It might be one of the most important tips, but stop measuring your worth by your output. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Stop measuring your worth by your output. You don't need to earn rest. You don't have to deserve it. You don't need to check off a certain number of things on your to-do list before you qualify for a rest break. You just need it, right? Somewhere along the line, we started believing that only productive people deserve peace, that rest is the reward for being good, right? Let's unlearn that. You are allowed to rest because you're human. You're allowed to have nothing left and have done nothing in the day, although I don't think that's ever the case when you're a mom, and still deserve love and still deserve that rest, right? You're allowed to do less and still be valuable. And this mindset shift doesn't just reclaim your energy, it helps you reclaim your identity as well. So let's take a breath together. Okay, here's what we covered today. Burnout is more than just being tired. It includes that emotional depletion as well. Your energy drains come from invisible labor, constant switching, and perfection pressure. Self-care is essential, not an extra, not a luxury. Time management can be gentle and real life friendly. Doesn't have to be the 20-somethings telling us how to jam more into our day. Your support networks matter. Your community reduces that emotional weight that we often feel as a working mom. Reclaiming your energy starts with small, doable resets. And you're worthy of rest, no matter what you accomplished in your day, okay? If this video helps you feel seen, supported, or just a little less alone, please consider subscribing for more honest, real talk just like this. And if you want to go deeper on the topic of building time boundaries and reclaiming your day, then check out this video next. Until next time, remember, you've got this. Keep showing up for you, and I'll see you in the next video.